What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man, and I'm back at it again. And this is a slight discussion slash review of Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, um, I'm gonna be real. Didn't really need the Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw because they just took two characters from the Fast and the Furious series and put them in the movie because this literally has nothing to do with the Fast and the Furious, and I know it's its own telling. Like they're going to try to give them their own series, but this didn't even feel like a Fast and the Furious movie, and maybe that was what they were trying to come across as. But I wanted it to feel a little bit like a Fast and the Furious movie, and what I will say is. I don't want to try to spoil anything for anybody, but what I will say is towards the end of the movie is when it finally felt like a Fast and the Furious movie. Throughout the whole beginning, I was literally bored because it was just so dull. It's action packed. There's lots of action, and I love a good action movie, but and I know you never go into a Fast and the Furious movie or any movie like that looking at the plot. The plot is never the main thing in a movie like this. It's always about the action, the characters, and what's going on. It's never about like what they're doing. It's never about the plot itself. The plot is always like in the background of what's going on in the whole movie. But in like maybe the whole first half and the second half of this movie, I was bored. There was some shots and scenes like action sequences and how everything started off. It was very good. I enjoyed it, and but it was just so dull. It was so. The Rock and Jason Statham chemistry, like they're both very good actors, and like you could tell they have good chemistry. But like their character that they're playing in this movie, which is Hobbs and Shaw, I was done with their back and forth banter within the first 30 minutes after they appeared together on screen. It was going back and forth. I was done after it happened a couple times. That was it for me. I didn't need it at all anymore. But let's talk about it, man. I don't want to spoil too much. It was good though. It was good, but if you want to watch it, I suggest you watch it and check it out because some cool stuff does happen. There's a bunch of cameos. Well, not a bunch, but there's a couple cameos that's going to pop up on screen, and I would love for you guys to watch it and then come back and tell me that you caught those cameos, because some cameos are absolutely funny. They were very lovely, and they didn't show those at all in the previews, which is I'm happy about. I'm happy that they didn't show those in the trailers at all, because watching them in the actual movie, seeing those cameos was absolutely fantastic. It's a bunch. They're big name stars. Well, they're. I don't want to. If I talk about it, it's going to spoil it. But like, there's a bunch of. Well, there's a few cameos in there that's just absolutely glorious, and they done this movie a little justice. But like, they didn't have to be in there. They kind of took away because we could only see them in other roles, and they just didn't fit in the Fast and the Furious franchise to me. But I was thoroughly surprised, and I enjoyed them as a cameo in this movie. But then we have just a movie overall itself. I just didn't feel it, man. It just didn't feel like a Fast and the Furious movie until the end. And I admit, at the end, right there, it felt glorious. It felt like the very first Fast and the Furious movie, and it done justice at that point. But like everything else, like the first act, the second act, it just dull and it was boring to me. But it's a great action movie, so you can't never go into a movie like this and expecting the plot. So just enjoy the action, and you'll do some, and it'll turn out all right. But the cameos is definitely worth watching this movie just to check out the cameos. The action sequences were very good. There was fights that always took place that was very entertaining. Vanessa Kirby and Dwayne Johnson, aka Hobbs, had a pretty interesting fight after they met on screen. Then they Idris Elba and The Rock and Jason Statham had some glorious fights throughout the whole movie. They done some stuff in this movie that was absolutely fantastic. Now the only thing is the fight at the end between those three was kind of dull to me. I like the fights throughout the movie more than I did the one at the ending. It had nice shots and nice pans like when they were shooting it, but it just didn't have it just didn't do any justice for me compared to the others. But I enjoyed Idris Elba. He didn't really feel like a villain to me, I guess because they didn't really give him too much screen time. If they had given him more screen time, it would have turned out absolutely fantastic, because he was a villain. He was a good villain. It just didn't seem like, like he didn't have enough screen time to really interact. We just saw bits and pieces, and everything we knew about Idris Elba and pretty much everything he said in the movie was shown in the trailers. We got all of that in the trailers. That's the only thing about movies, man. Sometimes they release too much information in a trailer. Sorry about the train. They give away so much information, and they gave away a lot of information for Idris Elba's character in the trailers. But I enjoyed him in general, like with his super strength and like his whole cyborg genetic type stuff, and that plays into the movie as well. And once you watch it, you'll understand. But that part was good. I enjoyed that, and the motorcycle was absolutely fantastic. It's like it was its own intelligence, and it can move and go on its own, and it kind of like breaks apart and comes back together. The motorcycle is very cool, and Idris Elba plays his role as a bad guy pretty well. It just like it could have gave him more screen time, because other than that, it was a little off, because like he appeared here sometimes and you didn't see him, and it's just this whole story. Then he appeared again, so it was off. The bad guy flunkies that was with him, they were super soldiers as well, but like they weren't super like him, so it was boring to me. The soldiers he had is because like they were pretty much easily taken out by Hobbs and Shaw and the other guys and the Samoans, because they weren't as augmented as much and super soldiered up as much as he was. So that part they could have worked out a little better to me. But now here's my theory. Oh, well, not theory, but another moment I enjoyed is Vanessa Kirby. She plays Shaw's sister, and I enjoyed her. Some moments you can definitely tell that like she just really wasn't working out, but like the scenes that she had with The Rock, where they interacted and where she was interacting with her brother, like they had the little comedic moments that was actually a little entertaining, and then she got a little serious, and those moments were very enjoyable. But I enjoyed Vanessa Kirby overall in this movie. She was very good. I enjoyed her. I think she played a pretty decent role, and if they was to give her another role in another Hobbs and Shaw 2, I think she would do absolutely perfect, man. And the chick that didn't get much screen time, but she helped Hobbs and Shaw out, and I can't remember her name in the movie, but her name is, I had to look up her name. Her name is Eiza Gonzalez, and she was absolutely beautiful. Her and Vanessa Kirby both look beautiful in this movie, to me. But this chick, like, she pretty much stole the screen. I mean, she was absolutely stunning. She came in, had a few short moments, but like she stole the screen in her few short moments. So shout out to Eiza Gonzalez, man. And you guys may know her from she's the chick from Baby Driver that was with John Hamm. She was the one that was dating John Hamm in Baby Driver. So she's a good actress, man. I enjoyed her in this movie as well. She could definitely come back, and I would love to see her back on the Hobbs and Shaw movie as well. Then we have the Samoan scene and everything, and my boy Roman Reigns showed up, man. I'm a huge WWE fan, and he didn't get much screen time. They showed clips and pieces of him here and there when he was fighting, and then him and The Rock had a few couple moments where they kind of pounded fists, and then they kind of had these huge action sequences together. But I absolutely enjoyed that my boy Roman Reigns was in there, man. He speared a guy, and he done a Samoan drop on one dude. But overall, I absolutely enjoyed certain parts of this movie. Overall, it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't give it a 10. Maybe a 5 or 6. But there was moments in here that you could definitely enjoy and see. It was absolutely fantastic. But this is my discussion / review of Hobbs and Shaw. But this is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, man, but only if you really, really want to, man. Peace out.